Monday, March 21st here. I was going to do a little more in-depth on this, but I think I needn't not. The province of Ontario just announced, quietly, but it's in public domain, that they're financially incentivizing family doctors and family practices. I did write down all the figures, but it doesn't matter. It's quite lucrative, it would seem, to track down the what I have to call non-participants. Like certain words I can't use, they shut my channel down. You know what I mean. Financially incentivizing them to track these people down, contact them, and encourage them to participate. And it's clearly worded in there that there's some pressure on the practices and the doctors to be doing this. I have to wonder why at this point, 2 years later, we know it didn't work on a global level. It's not questioned. They can't even claim it does anymore. Why at this point is there such a push? Well, you can answer that yourself, I guess. DuckDuckGo, the uncensored site, has been bought out by one of the major players. I didn't check which one, so they're no longer uncensored. You might want to know that. I spent some time on the weekend brushing up on cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin being the name brand, so to speak. Now, I haven't had much interest in cryptocurrencies. I don't have any money for that. But I do want to say that a year ago when I was looking into them, the whole idea was the money was out of the reach of the governments and the banking systems. Now, I was going to take some notes and go into this in a little more depth, but I didn't bother. The basic gist of it is the big banks are in on it, JP Morgan, and the governments around the world are accepting now cryptocurrency. You can buy the stock on the stock exchange. And I see there's a ceiling now on, what do they call it, a financial cap, a cap of some sort, as to how much money they have. Google the top 10, it'll give you a quick overview. Again, a year ago when I looked, just to stay with the money thing, some of them had trillions of dollars. Now they're capped that they're all under $1 trillion. And again, the big banks and the big governments are now involved. So I don't know, not my area of expertise by any means, but it seems that if you think your money there is untouchable, I would be dubious about that myself. I don't know. Plenty of channels talking about it. No way more than I do. Our debt-based economy, I mean globally, but here in Canada, our big banks have like $4 billion in actual money reserves. And yet they've lent out trillions of dollars, trillions plurally. Explains a lot about fiat currency and its potential failure, doesn't it? So I know, again, a little off my usual vein, but I just thought I'd mention that. As always, thanks for listening. I'll keep an eye on things in Parliament this week. I gotta believe things are going to get interesting in Canada very fast. I mean, again, they were protesting in Ottawa and all across this country in the dead of winter. February, January, our coldest months. Now spring is breaking and the numbers of protesters are growing. The government isn't going to be able to ignore it. What are their response going to be and how ugly is it going to get? I don't know. It should have happened a long time ago. It's going to get ugly before anything changes, and I fear what will happen, but it sorely needs done. Keep an eye on Canada, people. The Canadian people are far from done yet.